Order the meeting of the Greenwood Common Council on Monday, February the 7th. If you would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and after the pledge, remain standing. Will be led in prayer by Pastor Sean Holloway of First Baptist Church here in Greenwood.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Lord, we come before you tonight with one voice. First, we acknowledge that all we have is a gift from you. From the air that we breathe to the community that we find ourselves in. We lift up our police officers who routinely put themselves in harm's way to protect us and serve the cause of justice. We lift up our firefighters who routinely put themselves in harm's way to rescue us and protect our property. We lift up our emergency medical professionals who routinely put themselves in harm's way to help with our trauma and our illness. We lift up our emergency telecommunicators who routinely are helping those who are having the worst day of their lives. And Lord, we lift up our city leaders through their various positions and jobs, routinely work and strive to make our community a great place to live. Lord, we know that none of these professionals do anything with routine, so we rely upon you to protect them, rescue them, help them, and guide them in your grip, because we cannot hold on. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call.
Bates,
Present.
Campbell,
Here.
Gibson,
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Hopper,
Here.
Lexi,
Here.
Middleton,
Here.
and Williams.
Here. We do have a quorum, and just for the record, Mr. Pendleton is attending virtually this evening. All of you should have received copies of the minutes from our last regular meeting on January the 19th. Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Lexi, second by Mr. Bates. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? All right, hearing none, then roll call on the minutes.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi,
Aye.
Middleton,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Minutes are approved on a vote of 8-0. And before we go on, as most of you may know, the Republican caucus was canceled from last Thursday, so that they have not chosen a replacement for Mr. Dine yet. The new caucus is scheduled for February the 17th. So, all right, reports, Corporation Council.
The item semi-monthly has been added to SharePoint. If you have any questions, feel free to contact the legal department.
All right, anything from the controller at this time?
Not at this time.
All right, any other committee or board reports?
Yes, Mr. President, the planning commission did meet in its last scheduled meeting, and three items that was on the agenda. The first was the Emmanuel Church Burgersville Water primary replat that was approved. Second was the Denton Floyd annexation, which was also approved. It's on our agenda today. And then there was a rezone petition from the city to rezone 374 Emerson. And that came coming to the council for recommendation.
All right, thank you. Just so you'll know, last month's RDC meeting was postponed, and we haven't had one since. Our next meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. So, all right, any other committee or board reports? All right, seeing none, then this is time for the public comments, and at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, Mr. Mark Myers.
Thank you, Mr. President, councilors. Tonight we have the honor of introducing 5 new firefighters to the fire department. A couple of them have already been on duty for a while. We didn't get to swearing in earlier. So I'd like to swear all 5 members in tonight, a little different, a couple of them individually and then 3 as a group.
Thank you.
To the families of the firefighters who are here, I just want to tell you what an honor it is for me to see you here, especially to see different folks from different departments, because we know the fire department is brotherhood. The city of Greenwood, we take all of our firefighters, all of our city employees very seriously. You don't come to work for the city, you come to work to be part of the family. We are a family. We take care of our family. We want to make sure that as we hire these new people, as we train them in, we make them to be the best that they can be. So that each day we send them home in better shape than when they left that morning. A lot of that's because they have to work out every day. So we want to make sure that we take care of your family members. And we want to make sure that if you see any issues, you make sure you call us, because not only are they joining the family, their family members are also now family of the city of Greenwood. So I want to thank each one of you for being here to represent your family members. Take care of them, and we promise that we will do the very best to take care of those family members and bring them home each day and train them to the best of our ability. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. First firefighter tonight to be sworn in is Greg Gerard. Greg joined us in the fall due to an open vacancy. So he will be the first to be sworn in tonight.
Would you raise your right hand or repeat after me? I state your name,
I, Greg Gerard,
having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of probationary firefighter EMT
to the position of probationary firefighter EMT
for the Greenwood Fire Department
for the Greenwood Fire Department
on August the 16th, 2021.
on August the 16th of 2021,
Swear that I will obey
swear that I will obey
and enforce
and enforce
all of the laws
all of the laws
of the United States,
of the United States,
of the state of Indiana,
of the state of Indiana,
the ordinances of the city of Greenwood,
the ordinances of the city of Greenwood,
and the rules and regulations of the Greenwood Fire Department.
and the rules and regulations of the Greenwood Fire
And
Department,
I will obey
and I will obey
all of the lawful orders
all of the lawful orders
of my superior officers
of my superior officers,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
And a baby. It's hard. Still draw blood.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
The next member is Jacob Gebauer. Jacob came to us last fall again due to an open vacancy. And I believe it was in October. So welcome, Jacob.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jacob Gebauer,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of probationary firefighter EMT
position of probationary firefighter EMT
for the Greenwood Fire Department
for the Greenwood Fire Department
on October 25th, 2021.
October 25th, 2021.
Swear that I will obey
Swear that I will obey
and enforce
and enforce
all of the laws
all the laws
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of Indiana,
the state of Indiana,
the ordinances of the city of Greenwood,
the ordinances of the city of Greenwood,
and the rules and the regulations
and the rules and regulations
of the Greenwood Fire Department.
of the Greenwood Fire Department.
And I will obey
And I will obey
all of the lawful orders
all the lawful orders
of my superior officers
of my superior officers
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir. If someone would like to pay you, my wife and son. Congratulations. The next three firefighters are three of our new members that are new positions this year, thanks to the Common Council and all the city leaders. Let's have Arnold Garcia, Scott Hamilton, and Alex Martinez come up.
Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your names.
I, Alan Garcia,
Having been appointed
have been appointed
to the position of probationary firefighter EMT
to the position of firefighter EMT
for the Greenwood Fire Department
for the Greenwood Fire Department
on January 17th, 2022.
on January 17th, 2022.
Swear that I will obey
Swear that I will obey
and enforce
and enforce
all of the laws of the United States,
all of the laws of the United States,
the state of Indiana,
state of Indiana,
the ordinances of the city of Greenwood,
the ordinance of the city of Greenwood,
and the rules and regulations of the Greenwood Fire Department.
and the rules and regulations of the city of Fire Department.
And I will obey
I will obey
all of the lawful orders
all the lawful orders
of my superior officers
of my superior officers
and faithfully discharge the duties.
and faithfully discharge the duties
So help to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
of said office.
of said office.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Great. Gentlemen, do you have someone who'd like to pin you?
My dad.
All of you can come up.
Yeah, okay, all come up at the same time. Congratulations. Thank you, Council, and we will retreat.
You're gonna leave us? Okay. Just let me say, I want to thank the mayor and Chief Hoggett for allowing the council to be a part of this. Public safety is extremely important to us, and we are glad to be a part of the swearing in ceremony. Thank you, and thanks for staying for a little while. All right, we will continue with our meeting. And if you're a member of the audience tonight and wish to address the council concerning items that are on the agenda, this is an opportunity that we set aside for you. So please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. And just to note, as it says on the agenda, there is a 5-minute time limit. Anyone, either here or online? All right. Hearing none or seeing none, then we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. There are none under notice of intent to consider. First reading, ordinance 2201.
An ordinance to reestablish a Greenwood Cumulative Capital Development Fund pursuant to Indiana Code Section 36.9 15.5, sponsored by Gibson and Bates.
Do you have a motion? Motion, Mr. Lexi, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Gibson. This is scheduled for a public hearing tonight, so we'll open it up for a public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak for or against ordinance 2102, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, speak up.
And 2201.
I'm sorry, ordinance 2201. All right, hearing none, then we'll close the public hearing. Any discussion on the council? All right, hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2201, first reading.
Bates.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi.
Aye.
Pendleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Ordinance 2201 passes first reading 8-0. Resolution 2201.
A resolution of the Greenwood Common Council to adopt the written fiscal plan for the annexation of approximately 67.2 acres located south of County Line Road along Combs Road, referencing annexation ordinance number 2202, sponsored by Hopper.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
This is Mr. Bates, second.
Second.
Oh, second by Mr. Hopper. We'll turn it over to our attorney at this point. There's been a request for an amendment.
There's a request to amend to change, and I passed out kind of a summary of the changes. So this item did go in front of the planning commission as Councilperson Bates stated. There was a favorable recommendation from the planning commission, and that vote was 9-0. So we'd like to amend to reflect that change.
Okay, do you have a motion to accept that amendment?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gibson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bates. So any discussion on the amendment to resolution 2201? Hearing none, then roll call on the amendment.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi.
Aye.
Pendleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
And Bates.
Aye.
Resolution 2201 is amended on a vote of 8-0. Any further discussion on resolution 2201 as amended? Hearing none, then roll call. Resolution 2201, first reading as amended.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi.
Aye.
Pendleton.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
And Campbell.
Aye. Resolution 2201 as amended has passed first reading on a vote of 8-0. Ordinance number 2202.
An ordinance annexing certain territory contiguous to the city of Greenwood, Indiana, placing it within the corporate boundaries and making it a part of the city of Greenwood, and redefining the corporate boundaries of the city of Greenwood, Indiana, to include approximately 67.2 acres located in the area of East County Line Road and North Combs Road, with various owners, sponsored by Hopper.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gibson, a second. Second by Mr. Hopper. This also, there's a request to amend, so
And again, this has gone to the planning commission, and there have been commitments that have been, conditions that have been added to this. Would you like me to read each into the record?
yes.
All right, I'm gonna take off my mask to do it.
All
Hold
right.
on just 1 second. The first is to dedicate right of way for potential improvements to County Line Road, Combs Road, and the intersection of County Line and Combs Road. The second is to dedicate easements for sanitary sewers. The third is all development facing County Line Road, Combs Road, or an internal streets shall be considered a front and following the development standards of the Greenwood's Unified Development Ordinance. 4 is update the concept plan to incorporate the following. A, provide vehicle access to the easternmost parcels from Combs Road. B, provide sufficient stacking for all vehicles exiting site. C, provide a 10-foot multi-use trail along County Line Road, coordinate with Indianapolis and Combs Road frontages. D, incorporate internal pedestrian connectivity on sites. E, verify the site design of the assisted living facility verify the site design of the assisted living facility would not prohibit a potential future roundabout, Combs Road and County Line Road. 5, complete a traffic study showing existing and forecasted traffic volumes with the full scope as determined by City of Greenwood Engineering. Coordinate with Indianapolis DPW for their list of intersections to include. 6, the following roadway improvements are to be addressed during plan review. A, any road improvements, trails, acceleration, deceleration lanes, passing blisters, right-of-way widths, access entrances along County Line Road shall be coordinated and approved by the City of Indianapolis. Provide City of Greenwood with a copy of the Indianapolis approval/permit. B, any intersection improvements for County Line Road and Combs Road shall be coordinated with City of Indianapolis and the City of Greenwood. D, Combs Road improvements will be performed in accordance with the technical review committee using typical county road option number 1, number 2, or number 3, depending on right of way obtained. D, Combs Road acceleration deceleration lanes, passing blisters, turning radii, and multi-use trails shall be constructed per city of Greenwood standards and details. E, to achieve design compatibility with the surrounding area, pedestrian vehicular connectivity with adjacent communities should be promoted through the installation of stub streets and trails. F, all internal roads per municipal code shall be constructed per city of Greenwood standards. However, internal roads should be privately owned and maintained. 7, the following improvements to be incorporated in regards to engineering are to be addressed during plan review. A, coordinate all sanitary sewer route capacity and tie-in with the Greenwood Sanitation Field Office and possible master plan sanitary sewer main extensions will be required to be installed by the developer. B, all drainage, detention, runoff rates, water quality, and downstream drainage conditions will be per the latest stormwater technical manual. Any downstream restrictions or drainage concerns will be addressed by the developer. C, all stormwater from this proposed site shall remain on this proposed site and be routed through appropriate detention facilities and outlet points. D, the Johnson County Surveyor and Drainage Board needs to be involved for the drainage design final outlet. E, all mechanical stormwater quality units shall be within 15 feet of a hard pavement surface for maintenance and access. F, guardrails per municipal code shall be installed around all detention facilities that front a roadway. G, common area access shall be provided for all detention areas for assistance for future maintenance. H, performance guarantees, inspection and testing agreements, and B's, right-of-way dedications, easement for sanitary sewer, etc., to be posted with the Board of Public Works and Safety prior to the LAP. I, Engineering Commission has the right to require additional items at the time of plan review.
Is that all of them?
No, it's not, sir.
Okay.
Take your breath.
Then let me stop you at this
Okay,
point.
good.
Have you given all of us a copy of this?
I have, yes.
Okay, so everybody has.
Now you ask.
I understand it was a hazing
The-
ritual, so I still got 2 more to go.
Yeah, no, we'll stop there. Everybody has a copy of this, and so we will, I'll take a motion to amend ordinance 2202 as per the handout that we have been given.
So
Is that right?
Yes,
We have a
it is.
motion by Mr. Bates. We have a second. Second by Ms. Gibson. Very good.
My lung capacity.
You read very well.
Hey, thanks. Thanks.
Any discussion on the motion on the amendment to ordinance 2202? Hearing none, then roll call on the motion to amend ordinance 2202.
Hill. Hopper,
Aye.
Lexi,
Aye.
Middleton,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
and Gibson. Aye.
Ordinance 2202 is amended on a vote of 8-0. Any discussion on ordinance 2202 as amended?
I'd just like to thank Mr. Davis for all his work on that. Pages and pages of commitment.
Yes. And I'll be honest, it caught me a little bit by surprise, the length of the amendments.
You said,
So
when
I-
you said you wanted to read it, I thought, oh, no.
I do apologize, so. Anyway.
17 pages.
Yeah, well, I do apologize for that, so. All right, any further discussion, ordinance 2202 is amended? Hearing none, then roll call, first reading, ordinance 2202 as amended.
Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi,
Aye.
Middleton,
Nay.
Williams,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
and Hill.
Ordinance 2202 as amended passes first reading 7-1. Ordinance 2203.
An ordinance vacating platted ingress egress easement and platted drainage and utility easement in Saturn Park lots A1 and A2, Block A, sponsored by Campbell.
Do I have a motion?
So
Motion, Mr. Bates, second. Second by Mr. Lexi. This is also scheduled for a public hearing tonight. So I'll open up the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak for or against ordinance 2203, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, feel free to speak up. Hearing none, close the public hearing. Any discussion on the council? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2203, first reading.
Lexi.
Aye.
Middleton,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
And Hopper.
Ordinance 2203 passes first reading 8-0. Resolution 2202.
A resolution declaring certain personal property, machinery, and equipment for tax abatement, Sonova HC LLC, sponsored by Campbell and Hopper.
You have a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Hopper, a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bates. Any discussion on the council? Any questions? I think, if I recall right, this is a 3-year abatement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Any questions? All right, hearing none, then roll call. Resolution 2202, first reading.
Middleton, excuse me,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Hopper
Aye.
and Lexi.
Aye.
Resolution 2202 passes first reading on a vote of 8-0. There are no ordinances under introduction and miscellaneous business. This is a second opportunity for members of the audience to address the council concerning items this time that are not on the agenda. So if you're here tonight and wish to speak to the council, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, or if you're online, feel free to speak up and give your name and address. And there is a 5-minute time limit. Anyone? Seeing none, then we'll move on. Council. Miscellaneous business, the 2022 conflicts of interest. Can we vote on these all at once?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Learn to say that after. I just took a drink of water. Here we go. Here we go. First, Alicia McKenzie, Administrative Assistant, for her spouse, Robert McKenzie, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a truck driver / laborer with the street department. Brian K. Harris, Redevelopment Commission member, an employee of Fifth Third Bank, which may conduct banking financial services for the city of Greenwood. Carol Beck, Police Department Records Clerk, for her spouse, Michael Beck, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a reserve officer for the police department. Darren Hoggett, Greenwood Fire Chief, for his daughter, Hannah Hoggett, for any interest she may have in her earnings as a part-time clerical assistant in the legal department. Jason Grable, Greenwood Police Officer, for his spouse, Nicole Grable, for any interest he may have in her earnings as an employee with the Greenwood Parks and Recreation Department. Jen Wingett, Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation, for her spouse, Matt Wingett, for an interest she may have in his earnings as Program Instructor with Greenwood Parks Department. John Lau, Greenwood Reserve Officer, for his spouse, Molly Lau, for any interest he may have in her earning as the Strategic Marketing Coordinator with the Mayor's Office. Kevin Dillo, Crew Leader for the Street Department, for his spouse, Rita Dillo, for any interest he may have in her earnings as an Accounts Payable Clerk with the Finance Department. Kevin Hoover, Redevelopment Commission member, and his legal representation of the Greenwood Library Board, which may request TIF funding on collaborative projects. Lisa Edwards, Executive Administrative Assistant, Mayor's Office, for her spouse, Steve Edwards, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a stormwater employee. Lisa Vest, Human Resources Director, for her spouse, Ron Vest, for any interest she may have in his earnings as building services for the Board of Public Works and Safety. Lisa Vest, Human Resources Director, for her daughter, Kimberly Bertram, for any interest she may have in her earnings as a part-time city employee. Maureen Saltzgaber, Police Department Records Clerk, for her spouse, Rex Saltzgaber, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a detective with the police department. Matt Wingett, Program Instructor, for his spouse, Jen Wingett, for interest he may have in her earnings as the Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation. Michael Beck, Greenwood Reserve Officer, for his spouse, Carol Beck, for any interest he may have in her earnings as Records Clerk with the Police Department. Michael Campbell, Common Council President and member of the Redevelopment Commission, for his wife, Margaret Campbell, who is employed by the Access Johnson County, which receives monies from the city for annual services provided to the citizens of Greenwood. Michelle Rumble, Code Enforcement and Mayor's Office Receptionist, for her spouse, Tracy Rumble, for an interest she may have in his earnings as Greenwood Fire Marshal with the Fire Department. Molly Lau, marketing coordinator for her spouse, John Lau, for the interest she may have in his earnings as a reserve officer with the police department. Nicole Grable, employee with the Greenwood Parks and Recreation Department, for her spouse, Jason Grable, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a police officer with the city of Greenwood. Rita Dillo, an accounts payable clerk with the Green Finance Department, for her spouse, Kevin Dillo, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a crew leader with the street department. Ron Best, building services, for his spouse, Lisa Best, for any interest he may have in her earnings as human resources director for the city of Greenwood. Ron Best, building services, for his stepdaughter, Kennedy Bertram, for the interest he may have in her earnings as a part-time city employee. Robert McKenzie, truck driver / laborer with the street department, for his spouse, Alicia McKenzie, for the interest he may have in her earnings as an administrative assistant with the sanitation field department. Sonia Mayo, deferral coordinator / paralegal, for her daughter, Cameron Mayo, for any interest she may have in her earnings as a part-time employee. Steve Edwards, stormwater department, for his spouse, Lisa Edwards, for the interest he may have in her earnings as an executive administrative assistant with the mayor's office. Tracy Rumble, fire marshal, for his spouse, Michelle Rumble, for any interest he may have in her earnings as a receptionist for code enforcement and mayor's office.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, do I have a motion to accept all 31 of these? Is that correct? All of these? Motion by Ms. Gibson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hopper. Any discussion on any of these? We will do a roll call vote. So roll call on the motion to accept all of these conflict of interest.
Williams,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
All right.
Gibson. Aye. Mills. Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi.
Aye.
And Phil.
Aye.
All the conflicts of interest are accepted on a vote of 8-0. Thank you. Any other miscellaneous business from the council?
Yes, Mr. President, I think that we should commend the street department and all the other city employees that help with snow clearing. And I have to tell you a quick funny story. I was in Meyer on Saturday morning and I heard someone call my name 3 times and I turned around. It was this short, older gentleman. And he says, Miss Gibson, do you know what the street department did? And I said, cleared the snow, I hope. And he said, yes. He says, and it was perfect. And he says it was done by 10:30. And he was excited that it had been done so early in the day.
Yes, our street department has always done a great job. I really do appreciate what they do. All right, anything else from the council?
I'm told we still don't have bonds, so we may not have an RDC meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
There's still a chance that they can come in the mail tomorrow.
All right. Okay, anything else from the council? Other miscellaneous business in corporation council,
Nothing further.
mayor or controller, mayor? We are adjourned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.